Superman Doomsday is a straight-to DVD adaptation of essentially the death of Superman and reign of the Supermen. Yet, albeit it's kind of done in a way of Superman the animated series. It's directed by Bruce Timm, Lauren Montgomery, and Brandon Vetti. And essentially, the first half, if not first third of this movie is all about the basically Doomsday busting out of his pod, having to fight with Superman, the defeats of both Doomsday and Superman. And then the last half, if not 2/3 of this movie, is more of an investigative piece of is Superman dead? Who is this new character that's came into town posing as Superman? Is he the real Superman? Is he a fake Superman? Who is he? And then eventually the return of Superman. I want to say Adam Baldwin does a pretty good job as Superman. I am much more familiar with the gentleman who does the voice acting and the Superman animated series, which to me is probably my favorite voice actor for that character. However, Adam Baldwin in this movie does a pretty good job, and to me kind of sounds a little bit like Bruce Campbell. Anne Heche, I don't know how to pronounce it, I'm sorry, as Lois Lane, does a pretty good job. She's a little stale in some of her voice performances. However, the portrayal of Lois I really like. I especially really enjoyed a lot of the moments, which there are quite a bit in this movie, of Lois doing a lot of investigating of who this new figure is that came into town that's posing as Superman. Is he really Superman? Is he not? And her coming to terms with the situation and everything. It was really neat to see. You don't really get to see a lot of Lois really investigating in a lot of different types of media, but here you see that. And I actually really enjoyed that. James Marsders, who plays Lex Luthor, does a pretty decent job as Lex Luthor. He's not my favorite voice actor that has done Lex Luthor. Once again, honestly, have to go with the animated series. But James Marsders does a pretty good job as Lex Luthor. Very intimidating, very intelligent. He shows off in this movie. There are some really interesting twists. One in which I was actually really surprised, and my jaw pretty much dropped at one point. I wasn't expecting it. However, this movie is very, very weak. Like I mentioned, the first half, if not third, is all the Doomsday Superman fight that a lot of people come to watch in a movie like this. Everything after that is very weak. The characters are weak, the character developments are weak. Considering the fact that this movie is only an hour and 15 minutes, it just doesn't feel like there's a whole lot to really invest in that time period. You pretty much get surface level Lois, surface level Lex, surface level Superman. You're not really connected to these characters. You're watching events unfold and how they kind of deal with it, but you don't really connect with the characters. And that's really unfortunate. Is it entertaining? Yeah, but the most entertaining stuff is at the beginning of the movie with Superman and Doomsday, and the other half is pretty much at the end of the movie when it's the Superman on Superman fight. That's about it. The fights themselves are okay. There's some good sound mixing in it, but there's not a lot of creativity in the fights. Considering the fact that this movie was directed by 3 different people, it kind of makes sense why tonally this doesn't really gel. All in all, it's a really weak movie. There's not a whole lot to say, although John DiMaggio, my boy John DiMaggio, who plays Toyman in this movie, really different take on the character, really emo, gothic, sort of creepy take on the character, which is kind of interesting to see. And seeing all the Lois investigative stuff is neat, but the plot point with the Superman replacement and just how it kind of unfolds, it's kind of disappointing. You can really tell that they wanted to take the iconic death of Superman and to some extent very, very, very loose adaptations of the Reign of Superman line and do it in a more streamlined way, I don't think it really worked out. And I don't know if that's the fact that 2 people worked on the screenplay or the fact that there were 3 people that directed this movie. I don't know, and it's really unfortunate. Is this movie bad? No. But if you're going into this movie really expecting to really care about the characters and it being a very emotional sort of story, it's going to be very disappointing, which is why I'm really looking forward in the next video to talk about the death of Superman and see, does it really solve that problem? Anyway, guys, that's my thoughts on Superman Doomsday. What are your thoughts? Let me know in the comments below. Are there any Superman type content you'd love me to see? Do you want me to review the series? Do you want me to review some comics? Do you want me to review different movies? Let me know in the comments section below. If you like what you've seen here and want to stay up to date, don't forget to like and subscribe. Don't forget, I do have an Instagram and a Letterbox and a Twitch account. If anything goes new on Twitch, I'll let you know on YouTube beforehand. I appreciate you all for watching this video. Thank you so much, and I cannot wait to see you guys in the next video.